Welcome to Psychic Insights, where pop culture meets higher consciousness and the tea is always a little bit mystical. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and around here we don't just watch the drama unfold. We read the energy behind it, whether it's celebrity scandals, reality TV, chaos, or true crime with a twist. I'm tuning in to bring you the intuitive scoop the headlines miss. So buckle up, because your aura's about to get entertained. Welcome back to my channel. It's Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and I have a case that I have been following that I think we should cover, so I'm going to do it. And if you've been following this case out of Hawaii, you probably heard it described as a murder plot on a cliff. But when you actually look at what's come out of court so far, it's really not that simple. In this is a case of Dr. Gerhardt Konig. He's formerly an anesthesiologist who was accused of attempting to kill his wife during a hike in Hawaii in 2024. I don't know about you, but I've been to Hawaii. I don't know how anybody would want to kill anyone in Hawaii. It's wonderful. But according to her testimony, they were on a trip to reconnect their marriage. It was also her birthday. He gave her a necklace and a romantic card that morning, and later that day on a remote trail, she says that he pushed her, threatened her, and attacked her. Now, 2 hikers came upon them, and she survived, and now we're watching this unfold in real time in court. And what fascinates me about this case is not just what happened, but how the same moment can be interpreted in completely different ways. So today I want to break this down through my psychic insights. It's my commentary. It's just for entertainment purposes only. And I pulled cards because, that's what we do here. We look at patterns, we have spiritual inquiry, and we pull some cards. They didn't give me a clear answer about guilt, which that's not what I really was asking. They gave me something much more interesting: perception, communication, and confusion around truth. So let's just ground ourselves in what we actually know so far, because I always want to stay rooted in reality before we go all intuitive. Okay. This trial is about attempted second-degree murder. And one thing that's important here is that it's not a case where nothing happened. Even the defense acknowledges there was physical altercation, and he struck her with a rock multiple times. So the jury is not deciding, did something happen? They're deciding, what did it mean? Was it intentional? Or was this something that escalated emotionally and went too far? And that question alone is why this case is complex. So I pulled the cards, and what I came up with was man, moon, and these are Lenormand cards. They're my favorites. Birds. So if you're new to the channel, this is just a way of reading energy using these cards. This is letter, bouquet, tree, fox, stork. I should really find a way to lay these out better. Key, and clouds. Okay. I want to be really clear. I'm not using these to predict an outcome. I'm using them to understand the dynamics, the energy, and why this case feels the way it does. Because sometimes the cards don't give you answers. They just show you why things are unclear. So the first thing that we look at is the man and the moon. These two have come together before in other cases. And the moon is all about emotion, perception, and how someone is seen. And that is actually what we're watching in court, because this case hinges on how the jury perceives him. Is he calculated, controlling, dangerous, or is he emotional, reactive, someone who lost control in the moment? Same person, 2 different interpretations. If anybody knows his birth date and time and place, send it over to me. I would love to look at that even further. So I'm going to try to find that too. Okay, so we've got birds and letter, and this is communication is driving this case. It's all about the communication, the conversation, the messages, and I think about how much this case is built on words. Her testimony, his statements, what was said on that trail, even the moment when she's heard saying, he's trying to kill me, help me, help me, help me. That's powerful. But it's also a statement in a moment of extreme distress. And then we have the detail. That same morning, he wrote her a card. And so now we have loving words and threatening words. And the jury has to decide which one reflects the truth. Then we have, I don't know if I mentioned it's her birthday. This is a birthday trip. Okay. So then we have bouquet and we have the tree. And this is love and history can exist alongside conflict. And that's important. Bouquet and tree together say there was a real connection here. There was history. The tree is very much history. And there was something worth trying to save. They were in therapy. They went on this trip to reconnect and celebrate her birthday. This wasn't a random couple. And that's what makes this case so emotionally complicated, because we're not looking at good person versus bad person. We're looking at a relationship that had both love and fracture. Okay, so according to her testimony, something on the trail shifted. She said she started to feel uneasy, and he became aware of where she was positioned near the cliff. And this is where everything changes, because this moment can be interpreted in two ways. Was this a setup or a moment where emotions escalated? And that's the tension in this whole entire case. Then there's the hikers. They saw something real, but they didn't see everything. Hikers turned the corner, and they find her on the ground, injured, distressed, calling for help, and him over her with a rock in his hand. That matters. They didn't see how it started. So even this powerful piece of evidence is still part of the story, but not the whole story. And then we have another layer. He's not immediately taken into custody. He's out in the wild for around 6 hours. And officers locate him. And again, we're left with interpretation. Did he leave intentionally, or was he shot in shock, disoriented, or not thinking clearly? Same fact, different meanings. And then we have this missing phone and her purse. And this is very fascinating to me, because she testified he was holding her phone and her purse, and neither of those items were found. Now think about that. A phone holds communication, timeline, context. Even if investigators can recover some data from carriers or the cloud, it's not always complete. And now we have a missing piece of the story in a case that already feels incomplete. Now, he had a phone and he took the SIM card out, but we'll talk about that in another episode. Okay. It's fascinating. All right. So then we have the fox and the stork. Something shifts and not everything is clear. This is change, but also it's not something that's fully understood. Something doesn't quite add up. And this is where the narrative shifts. It's not necessarily deception, could be, but it just is not clarity. All right, then we have the key in the clouds. The key in the clouds. The truth exists, but it's not obvious. And this is the entire case. The truth is there, but it's surrounded by emotion, missing context, partial witnesses, conflicting stories, and this is why it feels complicated. So here's what I believe we're really watching. It's not a clean story. This is a relationship under pressure, a moment that escalated, and now two completely different realities of that moment. And the jury has to decide which one feels true. Now, court was not in session today, but it resumes tomorrow. So what I'm going to be watching for next is this. Do we get more clarity around intent? Do we get new details that support one version more than the other? Does this case become even more complicated? Because sometimes the deeper you go into a case like this, the less clear it becomes. And that's exactly what I want to explore in the next episode. So if you like this kind of content with a spiritual slant, like and follow, and comment in the comment section what you think. And I will definitely see you in the next one. And thanks again.